Okay. 2 minutes after, welcome everyone. We'll started now. I am Ramya Vardarajan. Some of you know me. Some have interacted personally as well. For others who are new, we have I used to call it small. Now I'm going to call it impactful startup called Right to Reflect. Co-founded it along with my husband Madhav Padma Gopal. We have been running a lot of workshops, one-on-one counseling, coaching sessions. But in 2025, we wanted to embrace a year of mindful growth um, and extend it outward as well to our Right to Reflect family. That's how it all started. Those that attended our workshops every now and then started telling that they were happy with the few sessions that they got, but they wanted some continuity. You know, that motivation from within needs a Kickstarter for all of us. So that's the bloom of our 2025 calendar. 90% of you, or probably even 99, are here to hear about our January 2025 New Year, New Habits Challenge. We'll talk about that in detail. But since many of us are meeting for the first time, I thought we will give a rundown about what Right to Reflect is all about, who we are, what is the year 2025 holding for all of us. Of course, in detail, we're going to talk about January, our habits challenge, the 30-day challenge. What are the dates? How are we going to dial in? All the details. Then, why are we all here? What is the compelling reason that we are here for you, and why should you be here? Then there's some community guidelines and expectations that we would like to share, and we will also open the forum up for a discussion or feedback. So moving ahead, um, our right to reflects theme for 2025. Many of you are on our WhatsApp community broadcast. You would have seen it's reflect, renew, and rise. So, from where did we get that theme? I think it was inherently there, but let's look at this short video that will explain why and the what's of it.
This is a story of an eagle. An eagle has the longest lifespan of its species. It can live up to 70 years. But to reach this age, however, the eagle must make some tough decisions. In its 40th year, its long, flexible talons can no longer grab prey, which serve as food. Its long, sharp beak begins to bend. Its old, aged, and heavy wings, due to their thick feathers, stick to their chest and make it difficult to fly. Then the eagle is left with only two options: die or go through the painful process of change. The process requires that the eagle fly to the mountaintop and sit on its nest. There, it knocks its beak against a rock until it plucks it out. Then the eagle will wait for a new beak to grow before it plucks out the talons. When the new talons grow back, the eagle starts plucking its thick, heavy feathers. And After this, the eagle takes its famous flight of rebirth and lives for another 30 years. Why is the change needed? To survive and live. We too have to start the change process. We also have to pluck our unpleasant memories, negative habits, and fixed mindset. Only freed from the past burdens can we take advantage of the present.
Mhm. So I think that summarizes all of it, right? Thank you. We, um, all of us go through challenges in life, and how we come out of challenges, those challenges, how we look at them as opportunities, um, creates us, molds us, right? So that's how Right to Reflect began. Um, Little into myself, I was with IT for over 15 years. 2020 started off, Right to Reflect started off in 2020 as a small blog, sharing our thoughts and values to friends and families in and around. And then it extended to schools, and we volunteered at our daughter's school. That's how it all started. And slowly, our vision statement got improvised. We wanted to empower people. That's what we're doing. We wanted to empower communities, to discover their purpose and passion. I think we all run mundanely day after day, not knowing what we are, who we are. So that's where we come in. We want everyone to ask the question, why am I doing what am I doing? So, our mission to hold on to that vision statement is to provide innovative resources. Sometimes inspiration can be boring. Um, Sometimes motivation can just be limited to infinite scrolls. We have to come out of that cocoon and be who we are, to be a purpose driven human being, so that for us needed inspiration from within. That for us meant to provide innovative tools and experiences that we would like from a home friend, and what we developed within our home we wanted to share with people around. So, purpose driven living, fostering a global community that values meaningful impact. And we always say we as individuals should be able to better answer our own why statements, which each one of us should have. I live because I'm born. No, that's not my why statement. That's not my vision statement. There should be a purpose in life. So our vision is, um, split into actionable statements, which becomes our mission statement and Right to Reflect. And then our purpose. There should be a purpose in our living, and from Right to Reflect, we value the three P's, which is people, planet, and prosperity. Every step that we take is a positive step towards these three P's, and how we achieve. We need modes, right? We need certain tools to communicate and to be who we are. The four C pillars that we follow here are consistency, comprehensive understanding, clairvoyance, and that's a beautiful word, which means, um, thinking beyond. I'm not telling that we foresee future, but say we step into a hurdle, are we able to come out of that? And for our conscientious actions. So our purpose is to ignite a passion for purpose in every individual, helping them uncover their why and live a life that truly matters, not just because you have to, because you love to, making a positive difference in the world. So that's who we are. We will learn more as we grow together. What 2025 has in store for us is, as I said earlier, many right to reflect. We call them reflectors and not participants. All of you are our reflectors. Came back to us stating that, hey, you hold a workshop every now and then, but what happens in between? And I asked them the same question. Are you able to follow? Are you able to keep up with what we are saying? The one thing that we have learned over the last 3, 4 years, at least, of hosting workshops is being consistent. And I guess that inspiration from outside is needed every now and then to be on that path. So this is our first year towards marking the entire calendar. We have lineup of activities. I'm trying to talk to various speakers and mindfulness specialists to come to Write to Reflect, to host what they can, to share their journey with us. So every month is special and specifically curated by myself and my husband. The first month, which is Jan 2025, is obviously New Year, new habits, not because we all have to resolve to something, but I guess it's easier to resolve in January and probably follow through. But we will stick on, we'll see ways to stick on to it. We'll talk about January, how we are going to make it interesting. February is going to be, I know it's month of love, so love and self-care this time. March is all about mindful moments. April is renewal and growth. May is gratitude and appreciation. June will mark half year, so we're going to have summer reflections. And each one of these broader themes have smaller, much deeper themes associated with this. And you can join if you're not in our WhatsApp community uh, to get to know more. I know all of you have signed up for our Jan 30-day habit first, but I'm giving you a broader picture so you know what's coming up. July is all about resilience and adaptability. August, we're going to talk about connection and how community can expand and improve with one another. September is one of my most favorites, purpose and passion, where we will talk about finding our why. October is mindful movement, gratitude and generosity. November is November, December, usually Thanksgiving time around this time of the year, right? So December, we're going to reflect and renew. So that's the theme of 2025. We're going to reflect, renew, and rise. And we're going to keep doing this, right? Next year will be different. I'm talking about 2026. I'm already in 2025 mode. I know we have only a few days left. So this is the entire calendar. We'll share it with the group once again. We'll go through the details later, month on month, when we get to it. Um, Now, more about January, New Year, new habits. Whenever we talk about habits, the one thing that clearly sticks is, or one person is James Clear. Many of you would have probably read his book, Atomic Habits. It's a prized possession. I have read it probably over 20 times in the last few years. The, the tagline that sticks to us at home is, the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. Imagine 2024, we would have taken, some of us would have resolved to doing certain things, to waking up at 5 a.m. every day, to doing our chores, to making up our bed every single day. Did we follow through every single day? So that discipline, the discipline of consistency, really matters for us to keep through and bring that habit through. Like brushing our teeth, we would have heard this a million times. We do not step outside our house without brushing our teeth in the morning, or without brushing the teeth at night. We do not go to bed. That's a routine. No one tells us, no one asks us to do it. After we eat, we wash our plates. No one asks us to do it. We, um, yeah, pain is temporary, regret is permanent. That's true, Karan. We, it's it's that pain of discipline that we have to go through today and every single day to keep up with it. So what we are going to do in January is we are going to have a 30-day habit building challenge. Out of those 30 days, 15 days, every alternative day, we're going to meet on Google Meet like this for about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. There are two batches that we have. And the days that we do not meet, we want our reflectors to follow through exactly what we did during the Google Meet the previous day. There will be 30 different prompts, one each day that will be shared. When I say prompt, think of it as a habit related question. We want our reflectors to answer those questions every day. The group will open up after today for your questions. We'll talk about the rules later. Before all this, when you leave today or after you leave from now through 1st of January, we want you to pick one habit that you can grow with us. Pick one habit, write it down, probably create a habit tracker with the days in January. It's a simple habit tracker. I'll show it to you on day one. I'll send it in our group. We want to follow through one habit for the next 30 days, and we'll see how it goes beyond those 30 days. First, we'll take one step at a time. Um, and along with this, we're going to have 4 weekly inspirational posts only in that dedicated group. We're going to we're going to talk about how we choose the right habits in week 1. Week 2, we're going to talk about overcoming obstacles because this is something that we as a family felt is um, practically the obstacle, right? We want to delve into a habit, we hit a boulder, and then we feel that the habit that we are sticking to is not the right one for us, and we slip from following it through. We fail to understand that obstacles along the way are going to evolve, but we have to be celebrating our small wins, staying motivated, which is going to be our 3rd week. Someone came to us to tell that, hey, do you mean to say that I brush my teeth every day? Do you have to celebrate? No, that has already become a habit. For and James Clear also talks about this. For a habit, we're going to see that now. For a habit to become stronger, we want to make it simple. We want to make it continuous. We want to make it rewarding. We want to see what's at the end of it. There is no end, but we have to create those small paths along the way, the small wins along the way, so we stay motivated. And most importantly, how do we sustain these habits after January? That's the most common question that we all have. Some ask, some do not ask, right? Hey, I follow through this challenge. What do I do after this challenge? How do I sustain personally? We'll talk about all that. And then we'll also meet as a group for a month end reflection and see if we can do this again. Um, and see what's next, right? What have we learned? Were we able to stick to our habit? We'll talk about all that. And before we move on, let's hear my habit guru.
Let's do a good habit and a bad habit. One I need to build and one I need to break. Building a good habit, you kind of want 4 things to happen. For breaking a bad habit, you kind of want 4 things to happen. For building a good one, you want to make the habit obvious. So you want the cues of your habits to be obvious, available, visible, easy to see. You want to make it easy. So scaling it down, reducing friction. And then you want to make it satisfying. The more rewarding or beneficial, the more enjoyable it feels, the more likely you are to repeat it. For breaking a bad habit, you just invert those 4. So rather than making it obvious, you want to make it invisible. Rather than making it attractive, you want to make it unattractive. Rather than making it easy, you want to make it difficult. And rather than making it satisfying, you want to make it unsatisfying.
I know it was too fast, but I will share it in our group. we all talk about good habits and bad habits, right? It's not challenging to create a good one. It's very challenging to break a bad one. So when someone comes to us and asks, how do I build a habit? We ask them to reflect upon what is their habitual routine so that they can negate those that are actually pulling them down so you can create new ones. That's where our reflection comes along the way, and we are going to learn all of this while we go through. So first things first, select, pick, I hate to say an easy habit. There's nothing easy in this world that comes easy. For that matter, even if it is reading a book or gaining a certification, are we able to, for example, register something on Coursera or Udemy and follow through with it? We'll do it on our sessions together every single day. Gardening, knitting, um, most importantly, being more patient with children, because we do a lot of parenting workshops at Right to Reflect. So the very first mind-boggling question to any parent is, how do I be more patient? uh, I'm smiling because it's not easy. You all know it. And probably there are some kids here too. So you're smiling as well, thinking about your parents. Uh, what we say is, what we ask of you is, any habit, anything that interests your soul and speaks to your goals. Don't say that you don't have any goals for 2025. You probably are thinking about a million things are zip zapping in your mind right now as we talk about goals. But pick just one habit today, and I'll tell you what I have picked. So I thought I'll tell it on day one, but I'm going to anyways tell it to you. So my latest gift from my husband is Overcoming Workbook by Michelle Obama. I have read all her books. So this is a workbook. So it has a lot of prompts in it like this. And we deliver a lot of worksheets in our Right to Reflect group. So this book is just has been a perfect gift for the year end to reflect. So the habit that I'm going to pick, every single page is coming along with um, a detailed worksheet to fill. And it's going to take a lot of time for me to complete this workbook, probably years is what I'm thinking. But I want to sit with all of you, our habit heroes, and every single day I want to target 10 to 20 minutes of time on this workbook. So that's going to be my habit for January at least. I read every day, so that's not so that's not difficult. But sitting to reflect and put those thoughts down um, is going to be a challenge for everyone, even for me. So that's mine. I've already picked a habit. So pick a habit before you come to day one of our session. What's our session going to look like? Many of you reached out one off to ask. So we're going to keep our sessions to hopefully 15 minutes and not longer. We'll try our best to wrap it up in the 1 hour time frame that we have scheduled. Starting January 2nd, we are going to meet, and this is going to be the 2020 habit formula that we are going to go through in our sessions every single day. So when we meet, the session is going to start off without waiting for anyone. 10 minutes of movement, and you probably are familiar with the 20-20-20 habit formula. Another um, I would say, inspirational icon or a speaking guru is Robin Sharma. And you might have come across his 5 a.m. Club book. It's an amazing keepsake and also a gift to someone that will read and follow through. So, the best that we thought is working for us at Right to Reflect is this um, 3M mastery, which I've also learned in another Find My Why session. So it really helps. So we're going to do it together. The first 10 minutes, we're going to move. There will be a video assistance for all this for us. So we do it together. The next 10 minutes, we're going to meditate. And that meditation is going to be a right to reflect ways meditation. We are going to meditate on the 4 C's that we talked about in the first slide, and 10 minutes of mastery. So this is where you picking a habit comes into picture. So if you pick a habit of, say, reading a book, you're going to read that book that you picked or any book that you picked for 10 minutes along with us during the session. So I'm going to actually sit and go through my book, workbook, and write during those 10 minutes. So we are going to keep 10 minutes of movement, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of mastery, where you'll be practicing the one habit that you pick, followed by 5 to 10 minutes of reflection time for that day, where I'll actually share the prompts, the questions that I told you, for which you can respond either in the group. Um, It'd be better to respond in the dedicated group. And then we'll also have 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes of Q&A. This will cover us up for, around 50 to 60 minutes for the 15 days that we will meet. And I'll talk about the days that we are meeting, because we have two batches, batch one and batch two. And actually, I want to be able to now thank as well, because we have participation from a lot of zones this time. We have 14 of us here, but there are 31 or 32 that are registered in our group. Many ping me to tell they're on vacation and they're traveling, so they might not be able to make it here. But we have all zones of India covered in our participation, south to north to east to west. And then we have participation from UK, we have participation from Germany, we have participation from US. And even our last parenting workshop was across all of these areas. So I'm thankful that we are growing as a family. Um, and along these, getting back, so batch one is focusing uh, 8 p.m. IST, which is going to be 8:30 a.m. Central Time Zone or the US zone. Batch two is going to be early morning, 5 a.m. for India, and which will be our evening time in the US. Um, I'll go through a calendar so it's easier for everyone. And prior to half an hour of the batches kickstarting every single day, there will be a prompt in the group so that you can join. We ask you, the reflectors, to join only the session that you have registered. If you have missed your batch one on a particular day, we do not encourage you to mingle with or join the batch two session, just to keep the timings going for us, because we have a lot of participants. I would like to personally interact as well, just to understand how things are going. But we'll talk about that in a bit. And as I said, there will be WhatsApp prompts every single day. Um, One second. There will be WhatsApp prompts every single day in our group, dedicated group, which will be actually the task of the day for those for reflectors. So we are going to be helping you focus on the goals you picked, and we're going to do it together, one habit at a time. Since this is going to be a habitual process, we're going to be a little bit strict with this, like how our, if you will, our school teachers used to be. Because sometimes if we are not strict with ourselves, I think we don't stick to the routine. It gets slipped away along the way for some reason or the other. So non-attendance of 3 or more days during our Google Meet sessions, we are going to ask our reflectors to rejoin the next batch, because it's not going to do any help if we are not consistent. So those are some details about what we are actually going to do in January, day by day. Um, and the dates that we are looking at, we're going to start from January 2nd for the live sessions that I'm talking about. So the green coded dates that you see on the calendar will be for batch one, and the brown coded days will be batch two timings. That said, we are doing IST and CST together, two different batches. There are a few that have signed up from, one second. There are a few that have signed up from the US, but they have picked batch two. For them, it will not be on the brown colored day. So I request all of you to watch out our WhatsApp group. There will be a link and a reminder sent before half an hour for every session that we have. And keep in mind that we are going to meet on alternative days starting Tuesday the 2nd for batch one, and for batch two, it would be Wednesday the 3rd. For the few of you that have exceptions, signed up for batch two, but will be starting on Tuesday the 2nd, I'll reach out one off to give you a reminder. This will be shared in our group as well, so you have it. And then, so when we went through the contents, we said, why is this, or why are we for you? Why should you do this? Um, I'm not talking about just the January habits portion alone or the challenge alone. This is for right to reflect in general. Uh, One, building lasting habits with expert guidance. Like I said earlier, we all need practical tools and step by step process. We all need to be guided as children sometimes, though we probably might not accept it. But for our habits to sustain, for our habits to be followed through, we need guidance. So that's where we come in. So you need us. And then we need a like-minded community, right? Sometimes we personally do not tend to be accountable and commit through the process. When it is uh, a community engagement, it's a lot easier. I'll give you an example. It's 30th December. There are billions and billions of people in the world. And here we are, the 16, 17 of us, or including me, it's 16. 16 of us that are here. And I'm assuming we are all diligently present because I'm unable to see the videos here. It's only 16 of us that chose to be here to listen to all of this, right? It's like we are the chosen ones, like Harry Potter. So being a part of this like-minded community, it gives a sense of purpose. It gives, it's, we are able to allow that encouragement from a supporting community to happen. We are allowing and sharing our purpose with like-minded individuals. I'm going to talk about right to reflect story a bit now when I talk about allowing it to share. When I said right to reflect was a blog in 2020, it dates back to my childhood days. From my, I think from my fourth grade onwards, my father kept talking about what reflection is all about. And I started loving that word, reflection, resilience. Probably those two are the first English words I learned. My mother tongue is Tamil, but reflection and resilience is always stuck to me from my childhood. I don't know even when, probably fourth grade, because that's easily relatable right now. And I have gone into the depths of reflection from then on. Started talking to people, asking about, hey, do you reflect? And many would say, what is reflection? Is it seeing ourselves on the mirror? Well, yes, it is seeing ourselves on the mirror, but are you able to see your brain and your heart? That's the reflection that we are talking about, mental, heartfelt reflection. Um, it's it's not easy. From then on to having to create a community like Right to Reflect, I have seen it grow. And we are, many tell that we are only a startup. Yes, we are. But the WhatsApp channel growth, just one angle of growth that I'm going to talk about, right? From one member or two members to whatever we are, right? 100 plus or 100 and closer to 150, I believe, is it is enormous growth, and many reach out to us one off to ask, to seek simple guidance, to just talk to us. They say, I think last month I spoke to one person for probably about 2 hours. They just wanted me to hear them out. And they said they blessed me immensely. And they don't know that what I was going through, and I needed the blessing that time. So where I'm going is that like-minded, supportive community, believe me, it gives enormous strength and growth. And from there on, it helps us to embrace self-reflection and mindful growth. We all, um, there's a saying, stop going through life. Stop going through life and start growing through life. I think it's by um, Gaur Gopal Das ji, who is a great ISKCON speaker and all. It's so true that we are all into going through life, and we don't want to grow through it with each other. We're also stuck in our day-to-day routine. We fail to um, look at opportunities and grow together. So that's what we're going to do together. And fourth, this year it's accessing year-round growth opportunities. We have a complete year planned out in Right to Reflect. This is our first ever time. Though we have planned our workshops in the prior years, the last 4 years, from 2020 we've been hosting workshops. But this year, 2025, is going to be more intense, more personal, um, almost 365 days of content to keep you all active has been planned and curated in some way or the other. So there are going to be consistent opportunities for personal transformation and a community growth. And the most important thing is align with a vision for meaningful impact. Like, being a part of something that's bigger than oneself is is much more than what we can visualize. That's how we see Right to Reflect as. If every day I can help someone grow in any which way. I'm not talking monetary wise right now. We all know, or I should say, we all have gained confidence of how we are earning money, how settled we are in life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about mental peace. I'm talking about finding purpose in one's life. So we're going to learn a lot of values together this coming year: mindfulness, mental clarity, resilience building, a shared growth. I'm going to learn mutually from all of you. We're going to foster self awareness and that emotional well being. We all need to be emotionally well built, not just physically well built. So, we're going to do that together. Um, and before we wrap up, or before we open up for Q&A, we while we talked about why we are here for you, we also want to talk about some community guidelines and expectations. We want to respect your fellow beings in the community. Please do not engage in one-off texting or promotional messages unless you already have solicited it from the person you're sending it to. We are all educated here, and I understand, you all understand what I'm talking about. We are here for a purpose. We don't want to spoil that integrity in any which way, be it our habits group or our right to reflect the broader group. We want to absolutely respect our fellow beings. Strictly no forwards, even from us. We have never, I think we have, it's about a year and a half of creating the WhatsApp group. There has not been a single forward till date that we have done. It's all strictly original messages. There are days when we have gone with no messages as well. We prefer that than forwards. Uh, we advise no irrelevant messaging. There are lots of other groups and communities where we can chit chat. This is for personal growth and mental well being. And 4 and 5 are very much for the January challenge. Every task or prompt that we share in the group, we ask our reflectors to participate and finish the task and send it in the group prior to the session. Let's encourage each other. Let's be accommodative and accountable for what we have signed up for. Let this not be just yet another form that we have signed and leave it through the way. And fifth, we've already talked about it in the interest of active participation, because personally, I have undertaken a goal. I want to influence each one of you in some way or the other possible through this activity or the list of activities coming up. So, in the interest of that active participation, non submissions of tasks or non active participation in our challenge, January challenge, we will be redirecting those reflectors to a fresh batch or a new batch. So, there is continuity there. Along with these, and we are also reiterating, please have a notepad and a pen for every session so that you know what you're doing if you want to reflect along the way, and use just one so that there's consistent thought process in there. And after January, you'll all be writers yourself. You will see how you're able to reflect. Then create a habit tracker. I'll send an example as well before our first session with the dates in January. So you have something to check off after every meeting. It's going to give you a visual representation of where you're headed. Like at office, wherever you're working, even at home, when you have checklists for grocery, it's a lot easier than buying everything on the shelves, right? Or if you're working outside home, because we're all working at home, you have checklists to complete, your meetings to attend, whatever, right? Those checklists. So have a tracker. Turn off all distractions for that 1 hour. I have completely turned off all the distractions. I'm dedicating my time for myself and for all of you. I definitely request all of you to do the same as well. Not for me, but only because you will gain out of it. And try to be on camera during our sessions for January and the rest of it I'm talking about. So in turn, we are able to turn off those distractions when we are on camera, right? When we are watched, we know that we are being watched. Attend the January sessions, the 15 sessions that we have from a calmer place, preferably the same place every single day. This is going to be my place every single day. Even if you see some other backdrop, it's going to be the same place. I have my table set, everything set for the next 1 month. Well, the next 1 year, in fact. So I would, whatever place you are in, wherever you are, have a small dedicated place for your habits challenge and the rest of the activities to come through. So you know something is awaiting you every single day. Uh, See, this is making things easier. You don't have to rush to it before the call, prior to the session every single day. It's already set. Like your bed, it's set in one place every day. You're not running with it. Your toothbrushes, they're all aligned in the restroom for you every single day. Your mugs to drink, similarly. Be consistent no matter what. I know there are many that we are missing here, but I'm thankful for those that are here. Uh, be consistent in these sessions so you will learn something and we all will learn mutually as well. All of this will be shared in the group once again, the dedicated uh, habits group, I mean. Uh, Before we open up for Q&A and feedback time, we have, I think, 14 minutes left. Um, Simon Sinek, you would have heard him, another optimism guru. You have to hear him out on this short speech.
Look, human beings, we can't help ourselves but compare ourselves to others, and comparison is the deadliest thing we can do to ourselves. All it does is exaggerate all of our insecurities. I'll give you an example. So, in my business, authors and speakers and folks like us, we're all comparing ourselves to each other. And sometimes I go on Amazon and I check the rankings of my books to see that I still have a job. And now and then there was this one author who I hated for no reason. He's very smart. His work's incredibly good. He's incredibly well respected. I respect him, but I hate him. And I would check the rankings of his books. And when I was ahead, I'd be like, yes. And when he was ahead, I was like, right? It would drive me crazy. And I had this weird abstract competition. We were, I was at an event and we were interviewed together on the same stage. The interviewer decided to let us introduce each other. And I said, you make me very insecure. And every time I see you do well, it just reminds me what I'm bad at. He turned to me and he said, funny, I feel the same way about you.
I'm going to play this again, just this one, okay? One second. There is a subtle message that he sends, and I'm sure you all heard it. I'm going to hear it once more, so you please hear it as well. It's
Look, human beings, we can't help ourselves but compare ourselves to others, and comparison is the deadliest thing we can do to ourselves. All it does is exaggerate all of our insecurities. I'll give you an example. So, in my business, authors and speakers and folks like us, we're all comparing ourselves to each other. And sometimes I go on Amazon and I check the rankings of my books to see that I still have a job. And now and then there was this one author who I hated for no reason. He's very smart. His work's incredibly good. He's incredibly well respected. I respect him, but I hate him. And I would check the rankings of his books. And when I was ahead, I'd be like, yes. And when he was ahead, I was like, right? It would drive me crazy. And I had this weird abstract competition. We were, I was at an event and we were interviewed together on the same stage. The interviewer decided to let us introduce each other. And I said, you make me very insecure. And every time I see you do well, it just reminds me what I'm bad at. He turned to me and he said, funny, I feel the same way about you. Look, human beings.
I feel the same way about you. That's what comparison does, right? And imagine he's an author, he has a billion followers already, and he feels insecure. So I'm not telling you all are allowed to feel insecure. It's okay, but let's not compare ourselves with anyone else. We tell that to our children. Do we take it seriously ourselves? Let's compare at least, with the one habit that you pick for the next 30 days. Let's compare ourselves only to ourselves, which is only a fair ask, fair game. There's no better version than us for ourselves, right? So why compare with someone else? So with that, I'm going to open it up for any feedback. We have 10 minutes, and we'll also open up our habits group. I know many of you, some of you had joined a little later. If you had questions on the previous slides, we can go over that in our group. But yes, Hitesh, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi madam. So there is very nice session. Thank you so much for the session. And I have one query regarding the one habit. Like that, I am a very early bird. So sometime I get up 5 a.m., sometime I get up 4 a.m., sometime I get up 6 a.m., sometime at 3 a.m. as well. But I am my habit I need to develop that I need to regularly get up at 3 a.m. because this is my highest quality time, 3 to 8, which I am very, very productive on those hours up on the whole the day. But I unable to develop this habit continuously. So any suggestions or what do you think means?
Do you sleep at the same time every day?
Yes, 9 a.m., 9 p.m. Normally 9 p.m. is my sleeping time. Now, after this session, I will sleep it.
Okay. So generally, they say the quality of sleep impacts the next day. So I would say that 3 a.m. waking up is what probably, if it's going to be 3 a.m. for you, you stick on to that for the next 30 days. Let's see if you're able to do it 10 days at a time and slowly build on it, because every day is not the same for us, right? Every day we have a lot of chores that we do that drains our energy. Mondays need not be the same as Tuesdays, and likewise. So you keep that 3 a.m. as not flexible. It's permanent, right? It's fixed. But the rest of the activities through the day are not fixed every single day. So I'm not telling you to align that 3 a.m., but if not for 3 a.m., you said 3 to 8, you're very productive. And 3 to 5, you're able to wake up anyways every single day. So can you come to consensus with maybe 4 o'clock because your body needs that rest? So try waking up at 4 a.m. for the next 10 days. And then the next 10 days, maybe you can shift it to 3:45 slowly. Instead of, our body, the circadian rhythm is so natural, but we try to pull it along how we act, and it's very challenging for us. So we can slowly, work on it.
Okay, I got your point. Okay, I will do with the same. Start with the 4, and then after sometime 50 minutes, we will do that. As per that, we can go with the 3.
Correct,
Okay.
right. Let's pick something and then let's work on it for minimum, they say 21 days, right? A habit gets formed after 21 days. So let's start with 10 days and then let's slowly, but I would say for the next 30 days, do not change a habit so that it sticks on to us, right? But if you're already having that habit and that's what you want to work on, then maybe 10 days. And then after that, we'll pick on something else. I mean, fine tune it, not something else.
Okay, great then. Thank you so much. Sure.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
No, we have 6 minutes. Anyone else? I would love to take a group selfie because we're all here. Um, would you all mind coming on camera? No? What's And I think we have a question from Lopaji.
Okay. So, yeah, hello, Ramya. Good to be
Hey,
here. And sorry, I was stuck in a very bad traffic, so I got a bit late. Uh, as far as I mean, following it consistently, I would love to, and I will do that. Just that logging in from the same place every day may not be possible because I do have to travel for my trainings and all. So if I'm somewhere else, maybe at that point in time, I'll log in from my mobile or wherever, but try to log in.
that's
And
perfectly. One of my favorite, you all might have heard Saurabh Bothra,
right,
Habil. He's the yoga guru. He says, just show up, in all his
right,
sessions. All that he says is just show up. You don't even have to do yoga.
sure, sure.
He's attracted the 60 plus crowd that way. Just show up, first. And eventually we'll all be doing what we have to do.
Sure, sure, definitely. So yeah, I just missed half an hour, the beginning half an hour. I
We'll
hope I didn't miss
continue.
much of it. Sure. So any prerequisites in terms of do we have to do any homework before we attend the first session?
No homework, just pick a habit and we'll focus through. And then I will be sending the details in our group as well, the habit group as well.
Okay,
We'll
sure.
make it as easy as possible.
Okay,
Rajesh, sure. Yeah, I think he had to leave. Rajesh is Dr. Rajesh Parekh will be one of our speakers in one of the sessions to Bloom. Great that he was able to join us. We he is going to come to Write to Reflect sometime, hopefully. So he was here. I'm glad he was able to make it as well. And I'm trying to see who else has the hand up. Any other questions? Nice. Is it Florence?
Yes, it's Florence.
Hey,
Hi, sorry, I just wanted to ask, is there any tip or advice you can give for someone if I start dropping an habit and I've been consistent, for example, for 3 or 4 days, and maybe I got it wrong in a day? How do I get back on track?
hmm, this is not just you, Florence. I think this is all of us nodding our heads. Hey, yes, we're all going to do that. Share the first slide. Yeah, you will. Um, so the first thing is we have to pick an easy habit, because that's what will, always we are good at picking something most challenging. Sorry, I'm going back to slide one while I talk 1 second. Let me get through to that slide and then is this the one? I failed to see who asked it. 1 second. Vinita, is this the slide you were talking about?
So, would it be possible to share the presentation, Ramya?
I will, yes, we'll share it because some
Because
weren't able to join, so
fine.
I'll go ahead and share it with everyone.
Sure.
So,
Thanks.
sure. So, Florence, coming back to your question, right? Um, we have to be consistent. We know that. One I would suggest is pick an easy habit. For example, Hitesh was talking about 3 a.m., right? Waking up at 3 a.m. And we are so fixed on our habit, we tend to not see the byproducts of that habit, right? Through the day, we go through, and your habit could be something similar. 3 days, you follow through with it, but the fourth day, you feel mundane, you feel left out, you feel this habit is not for you. So, picking the right habit actually matters. Like how we tell kids, right? It's not about they not liking the book. It's about they picking the right book to read, which will induce the art of reading and learning in them. It's the same way for our habits as well. Um, if I have to wake up at 3 a.m. every day, which I used to do, but now that's not the need for me. I will not be able to do that. If I pick it up now from, say, for example, comparing myself with Hitesh, I would probably do it for 2, 3 days. Fourth day, I'm going to flip back to my 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. routine. I don't want to do that. So I would suggest you reflect on those habits that you picked and you were not able to follow through, Florence, and do not pick those habits again. Remember what we saw, dropping the bad ones? That's the first step. Have you tried to do that already?
No, I'm just going to start on the second.
Okay, perfect. So we will probably help you pick that right habit for you, and then we'll follow through because you have a community here now to do it with you. You're not going to do it alone. So let's see how that works. And then, start reflecting on where we went wrong or where we went right and all. Let's do it stepwise is what I would say.
Thank you.
Sure. And I think we are on dot 9:30. So interest of time for everyone else, I'm going to, um, shall we click a picture? Is everyone in? Or if everyone is not, okay, it's perfectly fine too. What do you, that's okay. We can click a picture um, when we start our habits session as well. I see Geeta ji, Bhavya, Lopa. Nice, happy smiles all the time. Hitesh, great. Thank you all so much. There will be more sessions to follow, and I will connect in the group with everyone that has signed up. Thank you all so much. Any other questions? I'll also take it up in the group. Hey, nice to see you with Vinita, Vidya. Thank you so much. And I will see if I can share the presentation as well. Thank you all so
Thank you.
much. You have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Have a
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.